Hey, hey, hey. Happy Tuesday. Come on in, pull up a chair. The Gaming Gang Dispatch is in the air. Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang Dispatch, brought to you by, incredibly enough, thegaminggang.com, of which I happen to be the founder and editor-in-chief, as well as Polar Vortex 2025, which we will talk about that in just a few moments. Welcome aboard, everybody. Tonight is Tuesday, February 4th, 2025, and this is live stream number 1148. If you're not overly familiar with the show, let me point out, super casual around here. We are certainly not engaged in rocket surgery by any stretch of the imagination. No, we're just hanging out, having some fun, talking about the latest in tabletop gaming news, and a lot of times I will pontificate on a topic related to our hobby. But for the month of February, and maybe beyond, we don't know yet, but for the month of February, the live first looks are back on the Dispatch. We are going to kick things off with a peek inside Castles and Crusades Player's Handbook Reforged from my friends over at Troll Lord Games. So stay tuned, because I am also going to give away the trio of Reforged books in PDF to one lucky live viewer. And I will tell you right now, I will be asking a question. The first person who comes up with the correct answer will be the winner. Winner, chicken dinner. So, of course, you will receive the Player's Handbook, Monsters and Treasure, and the Castle Keeper's Guide, all three in PDF. Compliments of our friends over at Troll Lord Games. So stay tuned for that. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit gaminggang.com for all the latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you are not going to find here on YouTube. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Also, because this is a live show, that means there's chat available. It's not on screen. It's one of the ways I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. And you must be a subscriber to the channel for at least 10 whole minutes before you can take part in chat. Yes, another way I keep some of the more unusual commenters at bay. But if you check both those boxes, subscriber and have been for 10 minutes, and you want to say howdy, maybe get a question, a comment, by all means, chime in, and I will do my very best to respond. First out the gate tonight is our good friend of the show, the Madman. Glumin RX is with us, as is Sean O'Donnell, Bradley Thorpe, Fat Bearded Guy 13. I wonder if that's a lucky 13. And Tessie Trekkie are also hanging with us in chat. Semper Buffos just popping on in. Very nice. Very nice. Bradley Thorpe says, hey, Jeff, I just wanted to drop by and say I appreciate you reviewing Dungeons & Dragons Worlds and Realms. It's one of their personal favorites. Nice. Very nice. Very cool. And should also mention, I wouldn't be surprised if the lovely and talented Miss Sarah D is lurking in the shadows. Yes, she's also one of our chat moderators alongside the Madman. We've got a trio. Every once in a while, we actually see Flaming Huron pop on in, and he is the third of our chat moderators. So I mentioned we are sponsored by Polar Vortex 2025. That's right. They are once again our sponsors. In fact, they're going to be sponsoring us until the convention hits. So take a break from the cold this February by gathering with friends and family to enjoy the warmth and fun of playing games together at Polar Vortex 9, Chicagoland's favorite local winter gaming convention. The Polar Vortex team and I, because I will be there, Elliot Miller will be there, my brother Greg will be there, which means they should be paying you to, end up stuck in the same area as the three of us. But we invite you to join us at the Sheridan Lisle Naperville Hotel, February 14th through the 16th, 2025. Polar Vortex grew out of a desire to create a general tabletop gaming convention in the Chicago area that gaming hobbyists and the general public could enjoy. They also want to support local game retailers and publishers and give back to the general community. At Polar Vortex, you're going to find activities such as Play and Win, the Catan National Qualifier, the D&D Adventurers League, Pathfinder Society, Starfinder Society, Shadow Dark, Dragonbane, Dungeon Crawl Classics. There's a Chronicle, or it's Crokinole, that's how it's pronounced. Crokinole Tournament, Bolt Action Tournament, Star Wars Legion Tournament, Gaslands Tournament. It's a tournament? I didn't realize it's a tournament. Elliot and I are playing in a Gaslands game. Yes, we've actually picked a couple of events that we're going to jump on into. And of course, there is vendors, crafters, artists, miniature painting, and so much more. Celebrate Valentine's Day Friday night with a special semi-private event where couples, singles, friends, and even 6 kobolds and 2 trench coats can enjoy a variety of 2-player games while indulging in a build-your-own Sunday bar. The Polar Vortex team's excited to offer another fun convention experience this year, packed with a range of activities. If you want to learn more, by all means, visit polarvortex.games. And of course, you can register for the convention over at tabletop.events. Sweet, very sweet. So yes, I will be there all 3 days. Elliot's going to be there Saturday and Sunday because he can't swing Friday night, which is Valentine's Day. So he will not be present. I'll be flying solo on Friday. So normally what I do when I fly solo at a convention is I just bum around. Say hello to folks. I'm going to keep my fingers crossed. We got some exhibitors that I know, recognize, what have you. Yeah. Flaming Heron's with us tonight. Says, no Valentine's, Jeff? No, I do not have a Valentine. Sorry to say. I am a solo gamer as far as those things go. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Flaming Heron. I got too many things on my plate to be dating anybody. Jeez. All right, let's see. We've also got Pete Strakulich hanging with us tonight. Matthew Blackwell is popping on into chat too. Kathy Evans is here. So we've got a nice chat off and running. I think I've said hello to everybody. Hope you brought enough for everyone. Mike is also chiming on in. So there you have it. Polar Vortex 9 taking place. It's 10 days away. 10 days away. And I have a room there. So we're just going to be able to pop right up to the room. Might even end up doing some gaming up there. That's what we always end up doing at conventions. Even when there's open gaming, we always go, eh. So if you are tuning in because you want to see that live first look at Castles and Crusades Player's Handbook Reforged, do want to point out, if you're not familiar with the show, we tackle the tabletop gaming news first. Now, if you happen to be watching live, probably about 25, 30 minutes away. If you are watching on Memorex after the fact, there will be show notes as well as timestamps. So you can jump right to it if you'd like. So just want to point that out. I always get comments when I would do the live first looks on the dispatch. He'd be like, oh, I can't believe I had to wait, blah, blah, blah. I had to wait 40 minutes before he got it. It's, well, timestamps, folks, use them. Jump to where you want to go. I can only point you the way. Can't help you if you don't want to be helped. The Badger is with us tonight. Welcome aboard. Matthew Blackwell says those books look amazing. Couldn't wait to get the books, and they suck. They bought the last printing. That's not reforged. Not really much of a change, though. I think the only thing that Turtlord Games was making a big deal about with these was that they were going to finally get rid of all of those like little niggling errors and typos and stuff like that. So we will find out. All right, let's jump on into the news because Mongoose Publishing is releasing a 2-volume set of The Great Rift. It's going to be a slipcase set, and here's the skinny. The last great unknown in charted space. Only the boldest dare venture into the depths of the Great Rift, crossing the abyss of empty space to find unexplored star systems and forgotten wonders. Deep in the Great Rift lie ancient mysteries, strange alien civilizations, and human cultures who have not seen off-world contact in centuries. Portside rumors speak of giant creatures capable of interstellar flight and of starship wrecks belonging to no known peoples. From the Cold War, the islands cluster to the isolation of the boulder field, the Great Rift is a place of danger, both varied and insidious. A miscalculated jump means a slow death in deep space, yet travelers are ever willing to take the risk. What awaits the intrepid voyager who finds an undiscovered star system or deep space object? What secrets lie within the Great Rift, hidden in the vast emptiness and forgotten by ordinary starfarers? There are great risks here, it is true, but with them comes the chance to be the first people in history to stand on a new world and gaze upon what no one else has ever seen. This slipcase set with PDF is available for pre-order, carries an MSRP of $89.99. You can grab the 440-page PDF alone over at DriveThruRPG right now for $49.99. There is some sort of misunderstanding, I think, right now, because I've seen some news outlets saying that this is available, this is out. It is not out. This is not going to arrive until May. Of course, it's out in PDF, but some other outlets are indicating that, yes, the slipcase is out. It's not. So just so you know. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I don't know what kind of tweaks are in this outside of they've made this 2 hardcovers as opposed to, I think it was 4 books. I think it was 4 soft covers previously. I always like seeing Traveler stuff. It makes my heart glad. All right. Who do we have popping out into chat? We have Blanchitsu. Oh, yeah. Way off. Way off. I'm sure I didn't pronounce that anywhere near what it's supposed to be. Said it's first time watching the show live. Very nice. Welcome aboard. Kick back, relax, enjoy yourself. On to our next news piece. The eagerly anticipated Pathfinder NPC Core is arriving next month. Here's the latest from Paizo Inc. Populate your world. Devotees of the gods, cunning mercenaries, fun-loving performers, crafty engineers, devious villains. Yes. Well. And more. All have roles in your game with the Pathfinder NPC Core. Over 250 stat blocks for NPCs let you drop all kinds of characters into your game, from servants and farmers to masters of magic and martial arts. The NPCs are crafted to be fun and easy to use, with sets of adjustments to quickly change their ancestry, level, and more. You'll also find a trove of NPCs specific to non-human ancestries, like the Dwarf General, Goblin Git Gang, and Kobold Egg Guardian. Each section of NPCs is themed and includes lore, custom rules, and random tables to spice up your gameplay. Never find yourself making up statistics on the fly again. You can find everything you need in the Pathfinder NPC core. The 240-page hardcover is going to carry an MSRP of $69.99. You will be able to grab the PDF for $19.99 when they both become available on March 5th. Now, I do believe originally this was slated to come out this month. I believe it slipped by. It slipped back. So this is another release that there's some confusion on. I have seen indications that this is arriving the middle of this month, late this month. And then, of course, I always take my release dates from distributors because I figure they're probably in the know, right? Even more so sometimes than the publishers themselves. They are saying March 5th. So we will probably get a chance to take a peek at this. The reason why I say probably is because I shared the February Paizo preview. In fact, I just shared it this morning. And there were 3 physical releases this month. The remastered Guns and Gears for Pathfinder, as well as a new flip mat and the second chapter in the Spore War adventure path. I got the flip mat. I got the adventure. I did not get the remaster, which, it's fine. I have Guns and Gears for 2nd edition, so it should be all right. Should be all right. Pete Stracklet says they've had to learn the hard way how great pocket editions really are. Yeah, I got to say, especially with the Paizo Inc. releases, because they are quite a bit less, quite easier on your wallet or pocketbook. That is for certain. All right, moving right along. Let's talk about the latest bundle of holding because it focuses on punching Nazis and other fascists. And I've got the deets on the deal. Adventurer. This new Resistance bundle presents tabletop role-playing games about fighting authoritarian regimes and punching Nazis. For just $12.95, you'll get all 5 complete games in the starter collection, which have a retail value of $70, as DRM-free PDFs, including the illuminated mecha game Apocalypse Frame, 2 subversive takes on Star Wars, Galactic 2nd Edition and its companion game, Going Rogue, Jason Morningstar's acclaimed role-playing game of youth resistance in Nazi-occupied Poland, Grey Ranks, and the current 1.2 edition of the punk rock game of dystopian teenage rebellion, Misspent Youth. And if you pay more than the current threshold price of $26.83, you'll level up and also get the entire bonus collection with 5 more titles worth an additional $72, including Grant Howitt's Eat the Reich, No God's Country, a Forged in the Dark game from a couple of Drakes, Moonpunk, which adapts real-world subversion techniques to a retro future moon colony, and 2 expansions for Misspent Youth, the standalone companion game Fall in Love, Not in Line, and Sell Out with Me. These savings will run through February 11th. Yeah, it's a pretty quick bundle of holding on this one. 5% of your payment. Strange. Now we're dropping from 10 to 5. After gateway fees goes to this Resistance Offers designated charity, the Center for Constitutional Rights. Nice. Very nice. Good to see some of these bundles actually benefiting an organization outside of just the publishers. Because we've seen kind of a real move away from having like a 10% of your purchase minus the gateway fees going to various different charitable organizations. Kind of slim on those lately. So nice to see that this is actually benefiting an organization. So very nice. I got to say, I've always heard really good things about Eat the Reich. Kind of cool. And you can pick up quite a few of these Nazi punching, anti-fascist role-playing games. So there is that. Let's move on to our next news piece. Currently up on Kickstarter for the Dungeon's Key is Dirtbags. Here's the scoop. Dirtbags, exclamation point, is a science fiction shooter tabletop role-playing game where players take on the roles of convicts in a corporate-run dystopian world, coerced into the Military Foundation's Rehabilitation Incentive Program, otherwise known as RIP, with the promise of freedom and reintegration. Forced to endure relentless tours of duty, dirtbags are expendable, thrown at every problem imaginable, from distant alien bug infestations and scab pirates to suicidal salvage missions, courier work, and anything else the corporate echelon demands. Dirtbags draws inspiration from countless sources, including Starship Troopers, Tank Girl, Aliens, and more. While the game serves as satire critiquing corporate greed and capitalism, it also explores mature themes such as class systems, private prisons, internment, incarceration, drug use, mental health, and death, without intending to diminish the real-world severity of these issues. Dirtbags is designed from the ground up to be a flexible, cinematic, and fast-paced game. It's rules light and combat heavy, putting your character agency and tactics directly into the player's hands. The core system revolves around managing two six-sided dice pools. First pool is used for taking actions, while the second is used for ammunition. Roll as many or as few as you want. You're in control. This Kickstarter for Dirtbags is fully funded. You can reserve a copy in softcover for a pledge of approximately $21, or score just the PDF for a pledge of approximately $14 through February 27th. Expected delivery, pretty fast turnaround here. Expected delivery is in May. And that's on the physical books too. Pretty wild. Pretty wild. I thought this looked kind of interesting. Sort of the, prisoners having to, go and fight aliens and stuff like that. Could be kind of interesting. I like the art. The art style looks pretty decent. JD Sewell 3002 is with us. Says, like the guys in The Running Man, their debt to society fully paid. Kevin King is with us in chat. Good to see you, Kevin. All right, let's move on to our final news piece, because there's an interesting looking solo Weird West role-playing game, which is available from Symbolic City and Space Penguin Inc. And here's what I know about the Tarnation role-playing game, Pilgrim. Behold, an episodic game of solo roleplay set in a Weird West pocket of reality. 3 six-sided dice are your ticket to Tarnation, a vast, uncanny wilderness ruled by a strange and intractable law. Roll to scope a situation, marshal your resources into a dice pool, then beat the bar to see how your plan shakes out. Scribble away in your journal about the bizarre creatures and unexpected phenomena you encounter. Use symbolic clocks and loose ends to craft compelling narrative through lines. This 32-page zine includes the core rules for Tarnation, an extensive example of play, a hex map to fill in with your exploits, the introductory adventure, a flicker in the Borderlands, and it's important to keep in mind, this physical set from Space Penguin Inc. also includes 2 pamphlet adventures, Showdown in Shut Door, and a hex brand in the High Country. as well as a Tarnation bookmark character sheet. The zine with adventures and PDF carries an MSRP of $25. Or if you want to just score the PDF alone, you can do so for $15. Yeehaw! So another journaling game, another kind of solo journaling game. And it looks like the adventures are kind of just pamphlets there. Kind of interesting, kind of cool. Could be, I like the Weird West. There's something about it that just kind of appeals to me. So there you have it. Tarnation over at Space Penguin Inc. All right, that's it for the news tonight. Of course, I had mentioned Drive-Thru RPG a little earlier. And don't forget, the Gaming Gang, thus Dispatch, is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites. So if you are going to visit Drive-Thru RPG, Dungeon Masters Guild, Storytellers Vault, Board Game Vault, what have you, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get 5% of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep thegaminggang.com around. Also, if you like this video, if you like the video, if you dig the channel, if you find thegaminggang.com to be a valuable resource, hell, if you like what we do, you can always swing on by paypal.me/thegaminggang to make a small donation. Hell, you can buy me a 2-liter bottle of soda. Wunderbar. And there are some folks out there who stop on by and make not small donations, such as this month, we've got Joshua Edwards, Lisa Watkins, and the madman himself. But thank you to all of you out there for utilizing those banner ads and or stopping by paypal.me. It is very much appreciated. Once again, if you are stopping on by for the live first look at Castles and Crusades Player's Handbook Reforged from Troll Lord Games, keep wanting to say remastered. So far, so good. I keep saying reforged, but the brain keeps wanting to say remastered. If you're stopping in for that, we're going to be tackling that in just a few moments. And I am also giving away copies of the 3 main books. I don't want to say core books because the Castle Keeper's Guide is optional. You don't need to have the Castle Keeper's Guide in order to run or play Castles and Crusades. But I am going to be giving away the 3 main books in PDF to a lucky viewer. I am going to ask you a question, and whoever gets the answer correct first in chat is going to win. And of course, keep in mind, if you are watching live, you are not a subscriber, and you have not been a subscriber for at least 10 minutes, you cannot jump into chat. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. So we are going to dive on in to that first look in just a few moments. But first, I think it's time for a brief intermission.
It's intermission time, folks. Time out for a delicious snack in our sparkling refreshment building. Every item a fresh, appetizing taste treat.
Hello, my little sweet ones. I'm Professor Chocolat. Here's some of my favorite inventions. Chocolate chip cookies. The chocolate sundae. I invented it on Monday. Chocolate milk? First I had to invent a chocolate cow. Oh, now my greatest invention, chocolate vitamins. New delicious chocolate zest pack. Chocolate inside, beautiful colors outside. Oh, Angelo, you're an artist. Mom, since kids don't always eat right, One chocolate zest tabs gives them all the vitamins they normally need in a day, along with their favorite thing to eat, chocolate. Delicious. New delicious chocolate zest tabs.
Do you know me? I gave Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck their voices, but no one knows me. It's despicable. So now I travel with the American Express card. Then if I'm stranded without enough money and need accommodation, the card can always rescue me. With this, my name won't always draw a blank.
Pick up a card application wherever you see this display.
The American Express card. Don't leave home without it. That's all, folks.
Wherefore art thou, Romeo, and whereof is my Wilkins instant coffee?
The coffee's all gone.
Well, so am I.
Does it ever feel like everyone's got more going than you do? Oops. That everyone is smart.
So you're Al Myers' kid?
Yes, I am.
You look pretty stupid to me.
Thank you.
You say the best skier in town just ran off with your girlfriend? Even your younger brother does better than you do? And that nobody even cares?
Seth broke up with me.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, you might be right. But remember one thing.
I haven't even been to New York City.
Nobody was ever better off dead.
The truth is, I could outski you any day of the week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you want a race? I'll take you on any day, sucker. Go that way, really fast. If something gets in your way, turn.
All you need is guts.
All right! Now turn! I'm gonna race, I'm gonna lose, and I'm gonna die, in that order. Go!
And you'll never doubt yourself again.
He's skiing on one ski!
Better off dead.
And that's a real shame when folks be throwing away a perfectly good white boy like that.
An abnormal look at a normal teenager.
I want my $2. Ah! And yes, that was a brand new brief intermission. I put a new one together for you folks. Yes. What was that? Chocolate covered vitamins? What the? Blah. A few more people popping on into chat. We've got Vedra Saga author. I see we got DB is joining us once again, and Roger Perdome is popping on in. So welcome to all of you. If I've not said hello to somebody hanging out in chat, I apologize if I missed you. You know me, I always try to say hello to everybody when they stop on by. So it's been a long time since I was sharing first looks live on the Dispatch. So I thought I'd bring it back for the month of February. We'll see how things go, because kind of fallen into a rut of the vast majority of the live shows. Oh, I would say on average, when we average everything out, pulling about 500 views. And usually if it's not something Dungeons and Dragons related, as far as the topic, we're looking at 350-ish. So I thought, well, you know what? Let's bring back the live first looks just for the month of February and see what happens. So we are going to kick things off with a first look at the Castles and Crusades Player's Handbook Reforged from my friends over at Troll Lord Games. And stay tuned. As I already mentioned, I am going to be giving away a set of the 3 main books in PDF to a lucky live viewer. That's right. You got to be a live viewer. This is written by Davis Chenault and Mac Golden, with some other folks like Stephen Chenault chiming in as well. This 288-page hardcover carries an MSRP of $39 and 99 cents. Yes, you heard me right. In the days of the 250-page, $70 MSRPs, this carries an MSRP of $39.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone over at Drive-Thru RPG for $19.99. Flaming Heron says, what if I don't like chocolate? Guess I don't get my vitamins. Or as some people like to say, vitamins. Remember the first time I heard somebody, I was watching something and they said vitamins, and I stopped and I was like, the hell are they talking about? I think it was a show out of Europe, may have been out of the UK. And they said it again, and then I realized, oh, okay, now I know what they're talking about. Coco B is with us as well. Matthew Blackwell also points out veterans can apply for 50% off of books over at Troll Lord Games if you order through their website. All right, let's swing on over to the other camera here because I've got the reforged edition of the Player's Handbook for Castles and Crusades. So we're going to take a peek inside. We're not going to look at each and every page. So that's obvious enough, but we're not going to do that. I have reviewed the Player's Handbook for Castles and Crusades in the past. As you can see, they have stuck with the homage cover. In fact, they stuck with the homage covers on all three of the main books. So you might be wondering, well, how can I tell if it's the reforged edition as opposed to, say, the 10th? Well, no, I should say this is the 10th printing. The 9th printing or 8th printing. And you will see it bears the badge of the 25th anniversary for Troll Lord Games. That's how you know this is the reforged edition. So as Pete Stracklich points out, beautiful covers, all three. I agree. I really, really love these covers. Not to say that the other covers previously weren't cool, because I've seen them. In fact, I think we actually have the artwork of the previous covers in here. I know there's one of them because it was in previous print runs. So we're going to take a peek at this. Also important for me to mention that Troll Lord Games does not do editions. So this is no different core mechanically than the first box set that came out with little booklets for Castles and Crusades. It is the same. Now, things have changed as far as presentation and the actual content. But as far as this 10th printing, I believe the main focus was just to clean up the presentation as well as get rid of all the open game license stuff. So that's all gone. I think, honestly, that was the biggest thing that Troll Lord Games wanted to actually be able to take care of first. So Rick Loveday says, how do I sign up for the free download of the books? I'm not sure what you're talking about with the free download. We are going to be giving away, I should say, not we, am going to be giving away a copy of the trio of main books in PDF in just a little bit. But there aren't, okay, I'll take that back. There are some older editions. See, I said editions, which it's not. Older print runs of Castles and Crusades that you used to be able to get for free on the website. I don't know if they're still floating around on the Troll Lord Games website, but they had been. They had been in the past. Flaming Heron's pointing out that you can still get the older print runs. See, they use the E word too. Roger Perdome says they're going to follow page by page with their 8th print run. JD Soul 3002 says stamped with the maker's mark. There you go. All right. Chris Lundgren's with us in chat. Good to see you. Then we had somebody else popping on in. Off the Shelf Board Game Reviews and James Eck are also hanging with the game tonight. Okay, so first thing, let's take a look at the credits page. So as I mentioned, the main authors are Davis Chenault and Matt Golden, but we do have some other folks who contributed to this. So we'll give some credit where credit is due. If you're not familiar with Castles and Crusades, as I mentioned before, I have reviewed all 3 of the main books. I've reviewed other stuff too for Castles and Crusades. And the way I like to sum it up is, if you're looking for the advanced Dungeons and Dragons feel, but more modern mechanics, Castles and Crusades is definitely a fantasy role-playing game you should be taking a peek at, because it really does capture that old school vibe, even though it's not built on AD&D or original D&D or basic expert. So something that's important for you to keep in mind. So we're going to get into our character creation, and we've got our standard attributes: our strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. And one of the things that really sets Castles and Crusades apart is your action resolution. So you choose a class like you would in various different offshoots of D&D, various retro clones and such. And you will be able to go up to level 20 with your characters. But one of the things that's really cool is each of the classes will have a primary attribute that you need to have. If I remember correctly, I think there's a certain level that you have to have. It might be 14 off the top of my head. And you must have that. Oh, I'm sorry, I take that back. You have to have that attribute as a primary attribute. So if you're a human character, you get to take 3 of your attributes and make them primary, and then the other 3 are secondary. If you are playing a non-human species, then you're actually looking at getting 2 as primary attributes and 4 as secondary. Reason being, because you're playing an elf or a dwarf or a halfling, what have you, you've got other like bonuses, racial bonuses that humans don't get. So that's why, plus humans are supposed to be pretty good at adapting to their situations, right? So that's another reason as well. So we have all of our traditional AD&D sort of classes here. We've got the standard with the fighter and cleric and wizard, thief, but we also have our ranger, our paladin, assassin, and so forth. And we also will have at each, well, I shouldn't say each level, but every few levels, the character will also gain special abilities that they can utilize as well. So this is a roll high D20, and you are looking to meet or exceed a target number. So the big deal with the primary and secondary attributes is if you're trying to achieve something with a primary attribute, your target number is 12. If you're trying to achieve something that's got a secondary attribute associated with it, your target number is an 18. So with Castles and Crusades, when you're rolling your 20-sided die, you're also going to add your level to that die roll. There's other, depending on what you're doing, there are other bonuses. Of course, there's penalties as well. Now, what throws some people off is where it's like, okay, so 12 and 18, Honestly, I think it's fairly easy, but what a lot of people do to work around it is they just make the target number 18. Now remember, this is action resolution. This is not combat. Combat's resolved similarly, but of course, you're looking at your armor class as far, it's your typical roll 20-sided die you're looking to meet or beat the armor class. So the thing that a lot of people do is they'll say, okay, so the target number is 18. And if it happens to be a primary attribute, then you add 6. That's it. Pretty simple to wrap your head around. As far as the player's handbook, the most page space is devoted to the characters. So you are going to have a lot of page space devoted to the various different races, as well as the different character classes. I will be reviewing this, so keep that in mind. I am going to share a review of the Reforged books, although they look very, very similar, in fact, almost identical to the previous print run. Like I said, one of the things that people would kind of call Troll Lord Games out on was that they had done multiple print runs over the years of these main books, and they would have the same typos in every print run. So as far as I understand, that is supposed to be all taken care of too. So we will find out. Dark Autumn Scribe is with us, as is Toothless. Toothless is joining us. Good to see you. Glad to see you had an opportunity to watch live. Chris Lundgren says, Jeff, I've heard people say this is the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition if TSR had stayed in business and that Gary Gygax had an advisory role. Is that true? I would say that's entirely possible. I can't say that, oh yeah, this would have been the 3rd edition, because we've already heard stories over the years of what Gary Gygax had planned for the 2nd edition of Advanced Dungeons & Dragons, which of course his vision never saw the light of day. But yes, I would say more likely than not, yes. But as I had mentioned before, this does feel a lot more modern than AD&D or 2nd edition AD&D. A lot of people say that kids, remember, I'm not overly familiar with 3rd edition 3.5 or 4th edition Dungeons and Dragons, but I have had people tell me that in some ways, this is most similar to 3rd edition Dungeons and Dragons. Like I said, I don't personally know. All right, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to tell you how one of you watching right this moment can win a copy of the trio of new Reforged books for Castles and Crusades from Troll Lord Games. It is a question. First person to get this answer correct is the winner. I started off by talking about how it's been a long time since I shared live first looks on the Dispatch. The question is, what was the last thing I shared a live first look at on the Gaming Gang Dispatch? There were actually 2 things in one video. Whoever's the first in chat to let me know what those were is going to take home those 3 PDFs. Off the Shelf Board Game Reviews asks, are these PDFs on Drive-Thru RPG? They are. They are available now on Drive-Thru RPG. This is $19.99 in PDF. And I want to say the Monsters and Treasure and the Castle Keeper's Guide are probably the same. Matthew Blackwell says they're working on an armory book that will expand the item numbers by a bunch. I think they said the armory is going to have like 500 different weapons in it. 500? Yeah, well, if Gary Gygax had anything to do with it, then there's going to be about 100 pole arms. We've got loads of spells. One thing I did like about the Player's Handbook when I reviewed this originally is that the spells are nice and concise. We don't have 2-3 pages devoted to a single spell. So I like that quite a lot. These are in alphabetical order. They are not by level. There's some artwork from the past. I don't think that's new. But as you can see, we've got lots of spells here. I got to say, one of the things I like the best about Castles and Crusades is the advice for running the game. That's why I think the Castle Keeper's Guide is excellent, even though it is not required to run Castles and Crusades. I always definitely recommend people pick it up because it's just packed with some really cool optional rules as well as advice on how to run games at your table, which, funny enough, you don't necessarily see too often in a player-facing book. So keep in mind, this is not player-facing. This is the core book. So this has everything you need outside of the monsters and treasure to run Castles and Crusades. Now, you could conceivably take a monster manual of just about any fantasy role-playing game and adapt it for Castles and Crusades. You could do that with treasure as well. So it's not as if you must have monsters and treasure in order to run Castles and Crusades. That is not the case at all, but it is an excellent bestiary. So there's that. So just flipping on through here, some more artwork. One thing I do notice hasn't changed is, at least in the spell section, not a bunch of art. The art kind of, you're kind of like, hey, where'd all the artwork go? Here we go. I want to say, I believe this is one of the covers of a previous print run of Castles and Crusades. It's either previous print run of the Player's Handbook or Monsters and Treasure. But I think it's the Player's Handbook, to be honest. Matthew Blackwell says, I like the new spell layout. It looks good. Off the Shelf Board Game Reviews says, the book looks nice. Artwork looks good. Scott Lazares is with us. Welcome aboard. Kevin King says, sharp looking layout. I'm taking a peek to see if anybody has guessed. If anybody's gotten the answer to my question in order to win the PDFs. So as I mentioned, if you happen to just tune in a little bit late, first person to point out in chat what were the last 2 items that I shared first looks at live on the dispatch is going to be able to take home all 3 of the Castles and Crusades Reforged volumes in PDF. So here we've got our Castle Keeper guide sort of here on how to play the game, setting the mood and style, adventures. We get some examples for attribute checks, saving throws, combat. Combat in standard Castles and Crusades is not necessarily abstract, but it's not super detailed. Sean O'Donnell says, do unboxings count as first looks? Yes. Unboxings count as first looks, but Sean O'Donnell said he already told me he's got these books, so he doesn't need to win them. Matthew Blackwell says they have both Monsters and Treasure books. They made one for Air Day, which is the home world of Castles and Crusades. So as you can see, we're going to get into information about running the game. Something else that I actually liked about the player's handbook, which I'm sure is going to stay the same, is there's a bit of a conversational tone to this. So Sean O'Donnell says, yeah, try not to answer, but looking to help. But the thing is, last thing I did a first look at is actually not an unboxing. So we've got discussion of time, adventuring parties, and we get into our reference tables. Pete Strakowitz says, Pendragon starter set and the Gray Knight. No, you're just guessing. Because those are two separate videos. Off the Shelf Board Game Review says, was Paizo stuff, wasn't it? No. Nope. I don't do Paizo previews live. Although I might end up doing it this month if stuff comes out. Because like I said, I did the Paizo preview with the flip mat and the chapter of the adventure path. But there's rumors floating around that we're going to see other stuff late this month or early March. So we'll see what happens there. All right, so that is a look inside Castles and Crusades Player's Handbook Reforged. Still haven't said remastered. Good deal. And once again, as I pointed out, the way you can tell that it is remastered is because it's got the 25th anniversary badge up here. So Scott says, was it video games? No, I don't do video games. Man, people are just guessing. I don't know. I want to give away the 3 books. I dropped off the, it's not that difficult. I thought that was funny, though. Pete Strakowitz. Pendragon starter set and the Gray Knight? Just like wild guess. DB's asking, will I be reviewing The Hermit? Yes, I have it. I received The Hermit. Chris Langford says, if you had the previous version of this one, is there places you can get previous editions for consistent rules presentation for their players? There's a new one backward compatible. So as I had pointed out before, Matthew Palmer says, Broken Tales and Planet of the Apes RPG. No, those were not live. Okay, I'm gonna let you know. It's been over a year since I shared a live first look on the Gaming Gang Dispatch. There you go. Off the Shelf says Terminator and Rune Quest. Those weren't live. Those were not live. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna keep reading the people's wrong guesses here. Wow, I am shocked. I would have thought for sure somebody would actually just taken a moment to go find it. I guess I was wrong. So as far as the question about being backward compatible, as I had pointed out earlier when we started taking a peek, Flaming Heron says, you want us to cheat? It's not cheating. How is that cheating? I wouldn't expect people to know it off the top of their heads. Oh, yeah. I remember when Jeff did his last live first look. Yeah, it was more than a year ago. It was this and this. No, I just expect everybody to cheat. It's the only way you're going to do it. It's the only way you're going to figure it out. Anyway, so yeah, I just thought it's funny. That's cheating. No, it's not. It's researching. Anyway, Troll Lord Games does not do editions. Troll Lord Games does print runs, and they might do some changes with new print runs. Doesn't look like, it looks like this is more changes in layout and presentation a little bit compared to everything else. Sean O'Donnell says December 19th was Epic Encounters Symborum stuff. Yeah, okay, but that's not it. I don't think that is it. All right, hold on. Let's take a quick peek. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. All right, so I could have sworn. It's not easy to, I got a camera blocking me from the TV that I put stuff on here as far as my teleprompter and stuff. Okay, so I know this is great content because I thought my last live first look was a few days before that. And of course, YouTube's taken forever to pull this stuff up. It's weird. Sometimes I actually will go to YouTube and it won't even pull up anything. It'll just sit there and be blank. It's like, oh, okay. So much for that ping. Let's see, it's going to do it again now. Getting closer, getting closer. So of course, God forbid they would actually, allow you to just have oh, page 8, 9, 10, 11. Now you just get to press a little arrow. It keeps moving along. Oh, come on. So, of course, so now I just jumped back to the most recent. It's like 2025. Let me see what's going on here in chat. Yes, great. Oh, some information may not be available. Yeah, great. Yeah, I noticed that. Thanks a lot. Okay, it looks like it's working now. Okay. Got to the page. Let's see. So I think Sean O'Donnell said it was December 19th. No, that is not it. It's the one that I thought it was. So no, that is not correct. Because it was the 1000th show was December 19th. So, Warren Rollins is with us. Holy cow, man, you've been putting out so many videos for years. Yep. That is true. Let's see. Matthew Palmer is with us in chat. Let me take a peek here. Flaming Heron says, maybe you should have cheated, Jeff. I didn't cheat. I was just going to make sure that I wasn't wrong. That it was Epic Encounters Symborum, which that wasn't live. So Sean Dowell says at least there's no spider on the camera. All righty. So Matthew Palmer is correct. It is the Everyday Heroes, Rambo, and Universal Soldier. So Matthew Palmer, I believe it's the first time popping into chat, is our winner. They are the winner. So what you need to do is send me an email at jeffmcaleer@thegaminggang from your email address that's associated with your YouTube account, which should be Gmail. And I will give you the link for you to be able to go score all 3 of the main books in PDF. Compliments of our friends over at Troll Lord Games. I should mention that next Tuesday, we're going to take a look at Monsters and Treasure. And I will once again be giving away all 3 of the new Reforged books in PDF to one lucky viewer. Got to be watching live. And then on the Tuesday after that, I will be sharing a first look at the Castle Keeper's Guide Reforged edition. And I will once again give away all 3 books. So we had 3 giveaways. Well, 2 left now. So as I had already pointed out earlier in the show, we are going to be doing live first looks throughout the month of February. We'll see what happens with the views and stuff. So tomorrow we are going to be unboxing and taking a first look at In the Shadows from GMT Games. This is a game of the French resistance during World War II. I thought that was kind of cool. So I actually received 4 new games from our friends over at GMT Games, and on social media and even on our community here, I posted a poll. Which one did you want to see on tomorrow's show? And In the Shadows is the winner. Next up was Congress of Vienna. So we'll take a peek at that. Probably, I would think, a week from tomorrow. Then we've got the deluxe edition of Fields of Fire, which is damn heavy. So I've got that. And then Fighting Formations, U.S. 29th Infantry Division, which years and years ago, I reviewed Fighting Formations. And pretty cool. Based on Chad Jensen's designs. So we have got that. So we will be taking a look at In the Shadows tomorrow. And then I'm supposed to receive the Land of Eam deluxe box set Thursday. That's what the tracking is saying. It's going to arrive on Thursday. So if it does arrive in time, we will take a first look at that on Thursday's show. If for some reason it does not, then we are going to dive on into Tales of Argosa. Yeah, I just received this. This just showed up. Worst case scenario, we'll look at this next week. So there you go. There you have it. So I already got some things lined up as far as our first looks. I am not going to do any live reviews. They're just too much of a pain in the ass. Scott asks, what box set? It is the Land of Eam, E-E-M, from Exalted Funeral. And it is sort of a mashup of The Muppets and Dungeons and Dragons is what it looks like. Off the Shelf Board Game Review says, Chad Jensen, rest in peace. Fantastic designer. Yeah, a great game designer. And it wasn't only war games that Chad Jensen designed, which I think threw some people when he started coming out with some more, kind of almost family-oriented games. I thought that was kind of cool. All righty. The Madman says, what? I thought In the Shadows was about Sarah D. Yep, there you go. There you go. Dominant Species is amazing. Dominant Species was one of our, gosh, I want to say we review. Well, I shouldn't say we. I reviewed it. I think it was one of our. I think it was a review we did it like in our first year, maybe second year, because that would have made it 2011 ish. Back in the day, pretty cool. All righty. So Sarah D says, yeah, they thought about making the game about her, but they couldn't find her to research. So yes, there's some discussion about the second edition of Alien from Free League Publishing. I thought they've pushed it back to, I think they pushed it back to summer, because it was originally going to be like February, March, and then they pushed it back because I know I got an email talking about it, and it's like June or July, maybe even later than that. So Chris was asking, anybody know why there's a shortage of the role-playing game in stores? Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that's exactly it. It sold well. It did really well for them. And they are going to, and I got to be honest, I'm not too keen on it. I mean, I'm sure it'll be great. Don't get me wrong. But come on. Alien just came out, 3 years ago? And they're going to do a second edition? Now, I can understand if you're doing a new edition to a game because you're like improving the visual appeal of it. You've got more artwork, stuff like that. It's not really the case. I don't really know why they decided to go with the second edition. I think they're changing up the game mechanically from what I have heard. I don't want to say in the grapevine because it's not really out there, but I do believe that they are going to change some of the mechanics of it. So Kevin King says Free League's designers commented that one of the books, Building Better Worlds, they think was going to be compatible with the new version. So nice. Off the Shelf Board Game Review says they're adding miniature rules. That's interesting. They're going to add that right to the core book, or are they going to just do a miniatures game and make it an add-on? I don't know. Pretty well. So Off the Shelf Board Game Review says it's more a 1.5, which is even worse. So, like I said, a lot of people not happy that, I mean, it doesn't bother me really. I just kind of surprised because Free League Publishing doesn't tend to try to keep dipping into your pocket all the time. Kind of. Chris Lundgren asks, wasn't there already an Aliens miniatures game? Yeah, there's a few. There was one, I had it. At least I had the rules years and years ago. I don't think I ever had any of the miniatures, but I had the core rules for it. So there is that. All right. So that's it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell. It'll not only let you know when I share videos such as this first look and this episode of The Dispatch. It'll also let you know when I share other videos, such as my review of the Terminator role-playing game, which I don't have handy to show you, or my review of RuneQuest Classic, which was also over the weekend, which I shared. So if you ring that bell, you'll be notified when those videos pop up. Very nice. Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to dive on in and unbox In the Shadows from GMT Games. If you watch live, thank you very much. If you watched live and took part in chat, a bigger thank you, because not only are you keeping me company, keeping each other company, well, everybody's trying to figure out what were the last two items I did a live first look of. Hey, but I know a lot of folks out there, you don't have an opportunity to watch live. Doesn't matter if you're watching live or on Memorex. Thank you very much for taking time out to watch any of the videos here on the Gaming Gang channel. Yes, holy cow, I have been releasing a lot of videos for a lot of years, as someone in chat mentioned. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Everybody enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of day it is. I'll be back tomorrow. Hopefully, I will see you then. And as always, I hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.